So, hello everyone. This is Grace.
Hi.
And I'm Ashton, and we are today doing an interview all about hair. So, Grace has been doing my hair for about 3 to 4 years now, and I'm kind of embarrassed because I actually don't know your history on how you got into hair and all that. So, would you kindly tell us all how you got into that?
Sure. So I actually went to college and thought I wanted to do something in that, like public education. I was going to do public relations.
Oh, I did that.
Yeah, I did a lot, and I never was a school person. Like, I thought that I was trying to be all the time, and that's kind of was the path back then. It was like, go to college, but I always liked working with my hands, and I never considered myself like a trade school person, but that was ultimately what I needed to do from the beginning. So I went to hair school almost when I was finished with college, and
Oh, so they overlapped.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know
I
that.
moved home and worked in the salon, and then did classes during the day. Or I'm sorry, at night.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's a lot. You really.
Yeah, but it was good
Yeah,
because but I figured out through that process, this is what I wanted to do, and you know, you're so young at that age, so you don't really understand what you want, so
So that's how you
yeah.
did it.
Mm-hmm.
And how long have you been doing hair now?
About 6 or 7 years.
Really? Wow. I would have even thought it was longer. She's been
Yeah.
doing my hair, and it's
4.
I'm clearly biased, but I think she's one of the best.
Oh,
the best
I'm
hairdresser.
so grateful. So
It seems like that.
I love doing it, and that's why, working with people, it gives you a chance to kind of have those skills, because you're still working with the public, but you're also servicing them in a way that makes them feel good, and you feel somewhat you're helping out people with their mental health in ways,
No,
but also
the first thing
it's so much, and so I never really knew what it was to be a hairdresser until you start doing it, and then I'm just oh yeah, this is what I want to do.
Oh, I love that. That's so cool. Well, now we all know Grace's history, so I feel a lot better about that because I knew bits and pieces of that, but I didn't know. So I'm going to get into some of the questions from some people. Some of these are from people, and I'll say your names, and some of these are from me, but it's just kind of a mix, so we're just going to get right into it. So Emily is asking frizz control with a lot of question marks.
Okay.
So how do you do that?
So frizz is kind of interesting because it comes in different textures. Sometimes you can have really, really curly hair, and that's why you have frizz. Or you can have straightish hair, but you still get frizz. Everybody kind of deals with it in different ways. I really like keratin treatments. So they have come a long way. They used to be extreme versions of straightening and stuff like that. And now they have made the technologies a little bit better with moisture and keratin. So even a person with really fine hair that doesn't necessarily want to weigh it down, it can still be used for frizz.
I didn't know that, because I thought you get a keratin treatment,
and then your hair is just
pin
flat and sleek, and you always have to wear it like that. But in a way, and two, it's kind of an anti-aging system, because they've realized that keratin is what you're, when you see kids' hair, a lot of time it's so shiny and just beautiful, glistens, and really silky hair. Well, it's because they have a lot of keratin. When you're born, you do have that at a younger age. And then as you get older from the sun, and blondes struggle with it more because we have finer strands just in general than brunettes. So keratin just kind of replenishes it all. So whether or not you have curly hair or straight hair, it can help. In different ways too. You have more of a gauge too. You don't have to do an extreme keratin. You don't have to do you have more options. You can do a really, really minimal change one where it just kind of gives you, an express version, or you can do a middle of the range one. So there's just options now.
So that's our frizz control. Okay, I learned something new. I hope you did. Okay, another question we have from Emma is about good supplements for hair growth, because there's a lot of stuff out there that claim this stuff.
Yeah.
So what's actually the real that you found?
Okay, so and that's another thing too, because everybody's different, and it's all kind of internal of how we might have a deficiency of something that may be different than someone else. Typically, people that are oily, when they have hair issues where it's thinner, it's because they have an oil buildup on their scalp. And it's not necessarily like something that's wrong with them inside, it's just that they're an oily person, and so sometimes like when the oil just keeps coming on their scalp and they have so much of it and it builds up, the blood flow isn't able to like release into the follicle. So in that case, you don't want to necessarily go extreme and take like something that's gonna just take all your oils away, because then you're not really fixing the problem, you're just kind of imbalancing yourself. So I would say fish oil, just in general for women, is really great for all hormones, like hair related, skin related. It can balance you out because it's a hormonal thing.
I didn't know that.
It will make, like, if you've got dry skin, it helps you like stay moisturized, and if you've got oily skin, it's going to help balance you out. So, and it's just the basic like burpless. I do the burpless one because it's kind of gross.
Yeah.
You know,
No, I was like
fish
fish oil. I'm like,
if you don't like
I tried
fish,
taking it and then I burped fish.
and then you're grossed out. But they do have odorless, so
That's good to know.
fish oil, just it is amazing, and it's omega-3s basically.
I like that. Wow.
And it's kind of basic. It's just not marketed towards that. It's more marketed towards your heart, but you know your heart is like so it's with blood flow.
Yeah. So that
makes a lot of sense
into your
head, because a lot of it is for us is blood flow.
Huh. Well, the more you know.
I mean, I'm not a scientist, but
there we go. Our next question is best products for curly hair from Alex.
Okay. So curly hair products. I'm not a fan of putting anything on the hair when it's wet.
When
it's curly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think most of the time when hair's curly and it's wet, it's in its most like fragile state. And so a lot of times when you put product on that wet hair, it can sometimes either weigh it down or make it feel a little crunchy or like not really like pliable. So I would say like let your hair dry. It's really hard to do that when you've got curly hair because you feel like that in between stage of being soaking wet to like dry, you're like, this is not going well.
Right.
You know, and you want to abort, like not do this, I want to start over. But I think that, wait till it's about 85% dry and then add some sort of serum or an oil. And I mean, I'm very partial to Kerastase products.
Oh, is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Because I would have like totally said it and been like, Kerastase,
yeah, Kerastase. It's
okay.
And they just have really, really awesome products that like keep working. They're not just like a one-time thing. Sometimes I've tried products that I love at first, but then they end up not working long-term.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a great curly line. It's like it's like discipline. It's all French, so it's a little bit. So I would say it's like the peach color.
The peach color.
Peach color Kerastase. It's great. Yeah.
Okay. Alex is gonna love that. I know Alex.
Oleo Curl is the particular one. It's a cream. But if you wanted the mousse version, it's gonna give you a little more hold. But I like the cream for like if you need moisture more time. You know.
Depends on the environment.
Depends on the environment and
yeah.
if your hair's dry or like you're pretty normal, just depending.
Okay. Love that. I don't have curly hair, but that sounds like a really good answer.
Yeah, it's kind of an expensive line, but I mean they've lowered their prices actually for this like an age group that's younger because they realize that they're not getting a lot of that like people on board because it is so expensive and they're very exclusive. I mean, no one wants to spend the money if they're not if they don't know what it does to their hair.
It can do. So they want to lower the price point to kind of get that. Once you're in the gate, you kind of know what it can do.
Yeah, so they want to kind of which you never see that happen where people lower prices in a line that's already established. So
I love that. Okay. All right. Well, we'll keep going.
Kerastase.
Now I know how to say it.
Yeah.
Okay. So this one I wanted to ask kind of is like, what are some of the biggest hair myths or myth if you want to keep it? I don't know. What's the biggest one? Because if we go into all of them,
I guess that if you get haircuts that your hair grows fast is probably one
Thank
of them.
you for saying that.
Yeah. And you know what? Like, I'm gonna have to say I don't completely agree. And I'm a hairdresser, so it's like really against my code. But you know, people struggle growing their hair out, and it's a really anxiety-driven experience when you've grown your hair and you're like, please only take a little bit off, you know.
Aww.
You know, it's a lot of work that you go through to get it to that point. So then when someone just like takes it off, it's
They're like,
hard.
oh, it's gonna grow.
Yeah, and it grows faster. And I honestly don't feel like that is completely true. I feel like it's great to get regular haircuts just to keep your hair healthy, and it does grow healthier. But it doesn't necessarily mean you need to do it on a strict regimen of like 6 weeks. You know, you can go anywhere from 6 weeks to like 20 weeks.
Depending on your hair.
Depending on your hair and depending on your lifestyle, you know, you just gotta do what works for you, and don't feel guilty about it, because no one, I mean, I don't ever judge anyone coming in the chair and they're like, I haven't had a haircut in a year. I'm never like, oh, terrible. I mean,
I have friends who can do that, and they're totally fine. They actually don't get split ends or anything.
Yeah, it's like all according to your texture and your hair. Now, if you're someone who, you know, is a highlighter, or you do heavy lift blonde, you've got like already kind of textured hair, you've got all these different things that make it so you're prone to breakage, then yeah, you probably do want to do haircuts a little more often, but yeah, it's not something that you have to stick to.
You just busted the biggest myth.
Yeah.
That's like, people out there are gonna be clutching their pearls.
Yeah, I promise it's fine.
I love it though.
Good.
Another one from my friend Becca. How do you decide like a color and cut that's best for your face?
Okay.
Yeah, that one's kind of like
and it's hard because I think as we grow up, we're like experimenting, different ages. We're like, oh, I'm coming into my own. And you figure out what really looks good on you, and I would say don't go so extreme. A lot of times people like want those extreme changes because it's like, you know, I don't like what's going on, and it's like I need something new. And you know, sometimes subtlety is great.
Yeah. And
it can be a huge change. It's just
like getting my fringe.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I already had short hair, and I was like,
you can do.
I decided I want a little bit of bangage.
Right, and that's not a huge deal, but it's
not
still
like
a change.
This thing.
Still a change.
Yeah.
You know.
Subtle. Okay.
Yeah.
I love that.
Just subtlety. You can do the most subtle change, and it's still change, and you're still gonna be happy with it. You know?
I like that, and you should have a hairdresser, I feel like, who also is like,
you don't have to go
less is more sometimes.
Yeah.
I will say that from my own hair experience. Which question am I gonna pick next? Okay, so what are the best products for like baby fine thin hair? They're not concerned about volume, but just want a healthy product from Lauren.
Okay. Again, I mean, I'm gonna have to go back to Kerastase just because I'm so impressed with their line. Tan, like creamy white color. It's Densifique, if I'm not mistaken. They have a mousse, and it's not necessarily, it's gonna give you a weightless volume fill, but it's also not just a superficial product where it's gonna just do it for that look or that style. It's gonna maintain it throughout. So the more you use that mousse, it's going to help give you like more density and just an overall like fuller feel.
Gotcha. So it
works over time. It's not just like, because a lot of times stylers and volume products are mainly just for the look.
Right.
You know, that style that day, and they're not that healthy either, because the whole point of volume is to make your hair like dry. It dries out your hair.
That makes sense, actually, now that I think about it.
So it's not always good to do like a volume shampoo, because over time, using it every time just makes your hair, you might have volume, but you're gonna have like breakage.
Oh, so then you gotta get more haircuts.
Yeah.
More money.
And so then you're mad because you have.
But you still want a hairdresser to feel good.
Yeah. So gotcha. But that's a good product though.
Okay. So
Densifique mousse.
Densifique. Kerastase. That's. We've got a couple more questions to go. Also, I'm gonna shout out myself right here.
Yeah.
I made this little interview card, and I hope someone has noticed it. And that is all I want to say.
Homemade.
Homemade. I went into catalogs. Remember when we were in like middle school and
decoupage?
Oh my god! And we would like take magazines and we would look for things. That's kind of what I did.
Yeah, it's like the old school vision boards.
It really, I did, and I started cutting out colors.
I love it.
I know. So cute. That's what you do when you have interviews in your house.